The focus on today's edition of the program will be on the Global Customer Service Week. And like I stated before, the first full week for the month of October is set aside to celebrate customer service, and it is a time to reflect on the importance of customer service across across businesses, basically, not major businesses, and the importance of good customer satisfaction, and of course recognize those who play the very important role of standing as a middleman between a business and the customers, and those are the customer service representatives. But I'm joined now by my guest, who is the lead consultant at CatSync Consult. She is also a customer seduction coach in the person of Folake Agunbiade. Thank you for joining us on Business Daily today.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
Thank you. I will want for us to begin by you giving us, an understanding of what it means to have, excellent customer service. Unfortunately, I did do a bit of research where I saw, survey that had been carried out by, one was carried out by an independent body and the other was carried out by the FCCPC, that is the Federal Consumer Protection Commission. And both of those surveys didn't have the best feedback in terms of customer service in Nigeria. Nigeria seems to not have the best when it comes to customer service. But let us hear from you now, as someone who is major in this field. How would you define a good customer service or an excellent customer service?
So much for that question. I think that's the major foundation of the conversation. Well, for me, I've always said it. I think the ideology behind the word service itself might actually be the problem of customer service in Nigeria. Most people don't want to serve. They want to lead. They want to gather. They want to take, but they struggle with serving. Well, for me, I believe that customer service is when you give your customers an experience that they do not forget. Of course, we all know that experience can be good and it can be bad. Customer service is everything and anything you do that enhances your customer's experience. That is your actions, your inactions, your response time, your branding, your packaging, your communication, and so many other factors that determines the kind of experience a customer has with your business or brand. So when you say that customer service, from the surveys that you have taken in Nigeria, is a huge struggle, I'm not shocked. That's one of the reasons why I went into the service industry about 14 years ago, because everywhere you go, you just get bad service. Increasingly now, however, there is a huge need for brands to differentiate themselves in a competitive market. And the only way to differentiate yourself is to up your service game. Blow your customers' mind. Treat them in a way they do not expect to be treated and create memorable experiences. That's customer service.
You have said something that has stood out for me, talking about how some businesses should be able to differentiate themselves by, giving their customers that extra attention. But it seems as though there is a gap in the understanding of what or the major role that a customer service department or team, plays in each business. So I'd like for you to emphasize more on that. How can providing exceptional business customer service translate to the growth of a business?
Yes, I think for once, we need to debunk the ideology that customer service is a department. No. Any business that is going to thrive has to have the perspective that customer service is a lifestyle. It's a way of living. It's a service culture that every organization must imbibe. So it's not a group of people in a particular organization or in a brand that when there's chaos, you run to. No, it's actually a mindset that is centered around your customer, a customer-centric mindset that is proactive to ensuring that before the crisis starts, these crises are mitigated and dealt with before the customer finds out that it exists. So I think that's the fundamental issue we have in this part of the world. Our customer service is reactive and not proactive.
And you also have mentioned that it's not a certain department. I believe what you're saying is that it's the role, or it's the responsibility of everybody in the business to play the role of customer service.
Yes. Yes, definitely. From every single touch point in the business, from the guy at the gate, to the front desk person, to the customer representative reps, to the line managers, to the supervisors, to the team heads, to every single person that exists on that team. Customer service is a team sport. It's not a unit. And if you don't take your brand seriously enough to imbibe that mindset into everyone who breathes and interprets your brand or business to the customer, then you're going to be shortchanging yourself. You're going to struggle with differentiating yourself, especially at a time where customers are very empowered. They can complain, they can state their case, they can take you to the court of social media and drag you. You can't afford not to change your customer service strategy and differentiate your brand in the right light, grooming everyone to be your customer service team. So yeah.
I will want to continue, with your point on naming and shaming on social media, which is very common now. I may just have this bad service with a certain business, and the next thing I'm on Twitter or Facebook, I'm calling out this business and I'm reporting this business to everyone. But as someone who is an expert in this field, what are your thoughts on this specific way of handling, grievances? Now, I'm talking about the customers reporting certain businesses on social media.
Well, let's be real. Customer is king. And we cannot deny that we are in a very vocal season or dispensation that we live in. The customer has a voice. They can no longer be silenced. A lot of times in the past, brands don't get dragged on social media without a whim. There was a season where people were not responding, but were reacting to customer crisis or service breakdown, and it took them to the extreme of taking the route of social media. Strangely, when these brands are dragged, the response time is very fast. The problems are resolved so quickly because there's reputation loss at stake. I don't particularly like it. I don't think it's the best way to resolve conflict by naming and shaming. However, it somehow seems to be working. The customer should have a voice for advocacy to get their rights protected. Like I always say, when customers come first, customers last. But if they have to beg for your attention and take you to the court of social media to get resolution to their challenges, then there's still a bit of work for us to do as a people, as a nation, when it comes to the issue of service breakdown. We do agree that we live in an economy where service breakdown is almost inevitable because of so many factors that are sometimes out of the hands of the brands themselves. However, communication is key. You might not be able to make every customer happy, but you must be able to communicate and be real time. There are too many channels to be real time with your customers to ensure that you can manage service breakdowns effectively without it escalating to social media. So yes.
Well said. And again, what comes to mind is that it seems as though the customer expectation has evolved over time, especially, with the introduction of, digital services. We talked about social media now, and with how easy it is for people to access these customers, there is a certain or a higher level of expectation from customers these days. But I'd like for you to speak regarding that. How can customers now, balance having high expectations from businesses and equally, giving these businesses the benefit of doubt that maybe there was an oversight on their side that could have, just been avoided. But let's hear from you now regarding the high expectations of customers in recent times, especially due to, the digitization of businesses.
Let's be real. Customers will always have high expectations. The market is saturated with competition. What you call exceptional service today, somebody else is upping your game at 10 naira 50 kobo, if you allow me to use that phrase. Someone else is doing better. Someone else is evolving. Someone else is using technology to mitigate some of the challenges that you're struggling with. And again, the customer is empowered. The customer has a voice. The customer is paying premium. Yes, premium a lot of times. The value of exchange, the currency of exchange comes at a huge cost. So if you are a business, you can't tell your customer to lower their expectations. You should be looking for a way to keep upping your game. And like I said earlier, service failures happen, but how well are you communicating? When a customer becomes angry, they don't just become angry. It starts from feeling restrained. It starts from feeling frustrated. I am paying for a service. Why am I not getting value? And many times as a people, as a nation, we just assume that the customer should know there is a power outage in the whole of the Southwest. Are you not aware? No. You have to communicate regardless, because we are digital natives now. And this is the future of work. We have to upgrade, get there, supersede the customer's needs, and give them that experience that they desire. Manage the process. Very important.
Premium experience only for customers. Let us talk regarding training, because at the start of the conversation, I did make reference to about 2 rankings that I came across, which ranked Nigeria quite poorly in the area of customer experience or customer service. But how important is training? And when we talk of training, what are the major areas that players in a business need to be trained on?
Fantastic question. I've been training customer experience and customer service for over 14 years. I wrote my first book, which is a compendium of all of the core areas of customer service, customer seduction, about 5 years ago. Organizations in Nigeria need to dedicate funds, a part of their training budget, to customer experience, whether you are selling a service or a product. Because you can no longer sell a service without a product, or sell a product without a service. In the new age of differentiation and market strategy, you must be having both product and service intertwined in your business strategy. That is why it's important that you are training, you are retraining, you are up training. When it comes to customer service, you can never get tired. A large part of service breakdown is communication, like I said. There is this assumption that because I went to school, I have a degree, I can communicate. However, that's not entirely true. Communication is a key model in customer service that must be examined. Service recovery and service breakdown. Cultural diversity is another huge one, because people are from different cultures. Personality profiling and customer avatar is another huge area in customer service. So it's not just the customer service of those days where you go and complain. It is a lot of proactive training to get your team to mitigate issues as they come along. And training is a key part of it. We always invest ourselves as a brand that I represent. We're having our Career Acceleration Summit very soon, this week, I think. And it's part of what we are getting people to, we're advocating for, we're creating awareness for, that if your brand is going to survive in the 24th century that we are living in right now, customer service is the way to go. You must be trained and retrained.
You talked about, customer service transcending, over time. But one thing that crosses my mind is there are some businesses that I personally patronize, and most times, the only time I get to hear from these businesses is maybe during public holidays where they send an email message saying happy holidays, or maybe when I'm celebrating my birthday, I get a message from this business. And what I'm trying to get at is, what are the ways that these businesses can, can have customer loyalty specifically, and retain their customers, like you rightly mentioned. The market is a bit saturated and very competitive. So what can certain businesses, do to have an edge over other businesses in the area of customer loyalty and retention?
I love that question. The science of customer seduction is understanding that for your customers to last, you must create an emotional connection with them. You must be able to get your customers charmed and locked in on you.
But are these messages
where you like a brand?
Enough? These messages I mentioned, are they enough? These messages and emails that I get?
Of course not. That's just statutory. That's just CRM. That's customer relationship management. You must be more detailed when you are personalizing your experience for your customers. Those basic text messages are very generic. They do not connect to your customers in any way. You do not know your customer avatar. You can't identify what your ideal customer looks like and the segmentations you must service over time. There's a lot of deliberateness that you must use your customer data to create in your service culture. That is why technology use is no longer optional. You must have a CRM a customer relationship management system that allows you to meet your customers and know their individual needs. So beyond the Christmas holidays, the Valentine text messages, the discount text messages, or the offer text messages, there has to be a lot more personalization going on. I remember a brand I went to a while ago, and I walked in and I was called by my name. Apparently, they had a face identification technology that would tell the customer service rep when you walk into what your name is. I was blown away. For me to talk about it, it blew my mind. So we must be personalizing. We must be evolving over time. We must cover all demographics of our target market. Be it your discount customers, your loyal customers, your wandering customers, as the case may be, you must be servicing every single one.
Well said. And I would like for us to touch on how you can get feedback from your customers, because some businesses, that is a major challenge, hearing from their customers, and not just their customers hearing from them. So how should businesses, collect and respond to customers' feedback to improve their services?
Feedback is a huge mechanism for you to tailor your service. If your customers are not talking to you, they're talking to someone else. Yeah, trust me. And a lot of times when they walk out of your space and they're not giving you feedback, what it means is that your service was not memorable. If the service was good, it will trigger a reaction. Something as little as, what's your name? Can I ask of you the next time I come here? Can I get your phone number? All these are saying you have blown the customer's mind. But when you give average service and nobody interacts with your brand. Nobody raises a complaint, which is a blessing, apparently. A complaint is a blessing in feedback because it helps you know which places you need to fill, which gaps you need to close, and how you can evolve those gaps without not costing your brand too much. It's going to get you to be creative, and it's going to get your team to be proactive. So feedback is a huge blessing. I take feedback from any of my training, interactions, consulting, whatever it is. Feedback is crucial to us to tailor our offerings to our customers. So yes.
And if there is a brand manager who's watching us now and wondering, okay, the customer service week has just started, but I'd like to make this one memorable for my customers, for my my staff as well, and for everyone who is, directly or indirectly connected to this brand. How can they do that? What would your advice be to this brand manager?
Fantastic. If you have a CRM system, sit down with the data. There are some little details that are in that CRM that personalizes the game for you in a way that will blow your customer. For an average customer, less is more. Sometimes you're focusing just on the transaction, but that's what they're paying you for. I give you my money and you give me a service or a product. That's transacting. The extra is the experience that comes with the transaction. What are you doing to elicit a love relationship with me? How deliberate are you about being proactive to spot things that I cannot even see and draw my attention to how to fix it? How are you upscaling? How are you providing, additional benefits to what you're getting from me? Sometimes it doesn't cost so much. It just takes a strategic team to sit down and look at how you are actually tailoring all of your service offerings. And of course, your CSR, your corporate social responsibility, to also be of advantage to your customers. So do more, explore more, put some research into it, and go wow your customers.
And what, in your point of view, is the future of customer service? Already we spoke as to how, most of this, customer service relationship has been digitized. But I believe there is more, to expect in the coming days and years. So in your own perspective, what do you foresee, changing or happening in the future as regarding customer service?
We all know that the advent of digitalization and technology is going to cancel out a lot of customer service roles. However, human interaction can never replace automation. So positioning your business in a way that has a personal touch, again, would mean that you are moving in the science of human interactions. You must be finding ways to infuse the human element even in your technology in a way that people don't feel alienated. They feel loved, they feel appreciated, they feel involved in your service offerings for them. In this side of the divide, it is on us with an expediency to improve our service levels to compete globally. Because a lot of organizations will be coming into Nigeria and investing in this space. And the expectations are high for us to adapt, evolve, and keep giving exceptional service. So customer service, it's on its way to a high rise, and you don't want to be left behind.
Well said. But I would like for you to touch on specifics that, businesses can do to, to stay competitive. You talked about global competition, that these days you're not just competing with businesses in your vicinity. It's now a global thing. So what specific things would you recommend businesses did to stay competitive?
There are so many things. What I particularly like is brand reputation and trust. A company's brand reputation is heavily influenced by the quality of customer service that that brand is giving out. You must be able to demonstrate responsiveness, yes, empathy, and care towards your customers to build credibility and positive relationships. You must also be very deliberate when it comes to your cultural sensitivity. Yes, especially in Nigeria, doing business comes with its cultural dynamics. And excellent customer service requires a nuanced understanding of cultural context that helps you build rapport. You must train your staff to understand diversity, embrace diversity, and be inclusive to ensure that customer experiences are organic and are genuine across board.
And just before we go, we would like for you to, just give us some tips of some encouragement, especially as we start the commemoration of the Customer Service Week. We are a media business here. What would that tip, be, for us as a media business to ensure that we pay close attention to as the Customer Service Week starts?
Well, I personally believe that is a lifelong celebration beyond the 1 week in October that we have Customer Service Week. We just need to have a mantra that is customer centric. Sometimes we need to sit down and look at our vision and our mission statement and incorporate a customer centered approach to some of the elements of how we are doing business. It would affect our mindset because for many of us, the struggle of empathy, responsiveness also comes from the kind of experiences that we carry as individuals in a brand. So we need to do a lot of mind work to get people to realize that, look, and this particular word I love so much, and I'm going to say it as I close out. When your customers come first, your business or brand will last. If you put them second, you're going to have a challenge. So you need to walk around and mitigate all of the challenges that stops you from placing your customer first.
When your customers come first, your business or brand last. And those were the words of my guest, who is the lead consultant at Katsing Consult, customer seduction coach in the person of Folake Agunbiade. Thank you very much for all the insights that you have shared.
Thank you for having me, always.
Today, and happy Customer Service Week to you.
Thank you. Happy customer service to the entire team at Trust TV. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. And that's the much that we will be taking on today's edition of the program. But keep the conversation going across all the social media platforms, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and of course on X, which is formerly Twitter. Let us hear from you. Let's hear how you are, marking or commemorating the Customer Service Week, and let us know how we can serve you better as Trust TV. We will be there to interact with you. My name is Chiamaka Enendu. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.